My sister is going to tell our parents she's pregnant at dinner tonight, and we don't know what my parents are going to do. I'm 14 and she's 18. I found out because our bedrooms share a bathroom, and I've heard her throwing up every morning for 2 months straight. At first I thought she had a stomach bug, then I noticed the saltine crackers hidden in her nightstand, and the way she'd go pale every time our mom cooked eggs. She finally broke down and told me everything last week. She sat on my bed shaking and made me swear I wouldn't say anything. The father is her so-called mentor from her school internship. He's 34. I didn't even know they were together. She always called him her advisor. He started buying her things early on, a laptop for her schoolwork, nice clothes for presentations, concert tickets because she mentioned she liked a certain band. I thought he was just being generous. My parents thought so too. My dad even said once how lucky she was to have someone investing in her future. That sentence hits different now. 3 days before dinner, she packed a backpack and hid it under her bed. She told me if our parents kicked her out, she'd go stay with him. He already told her she could move in. He had a spare room ready. The way she said it so calmly, like she'd rehearsed it, made my stomach turn. She wasn't scared of our parents. She was scared of losing him. That's what worried me the most. Dinner started completely normal. My dad was talking about the Eagles game, going on about some bad call in the third quarter. My mom was complaining about the neighbors leaving their trash cans out again. My sister barely touched her food. She just kept moving rice around her plate with her fork. I couldn't eat either. I felt like I was sitting on a ticking bomb that only we could hear. Then about 20 minutes in, she put her fork down and said, "I need to tell you something." The table went dead silent. My dad stopped mid-sentence with his mouth still open. My mom slowly set her glass down. My sister's voice was shaking, but she got through it. She told them she was pregnant. She told them who the father was. She told them his age. For about 10 seconds, nobody moved. I could hear the clock on the wall ticking. I could hear the neighbor's dog barking outside. I was gripping my chair so hard my knuckles turned white. Then my mom did something I never expected. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She didn't slam her hands on the table. She stood up, walked to the kitchen, and came back with a notebook and a pen. She sat down, and in this voice I'd never heard before, cold and steady, she said, "Tell me his full name." My sister told her. My mom wrote it down. Then she asked his age, where he worked, the name of the company that ran the internship program, how long it had been going on. She wrote every single answer down like she was building a case right there at the dinner table. When she had everything, she looked at my dad and said, "Call the lawyer." My dad didn't hesitate. He pulled out his phone right there at the table and called their family attorney. While he was on the phone, my mom made 2 more calls, one to the police non-emergency line and one to the school district office. She left a voicemail at the school because it was after hours, but the police sent an officer within 40 minutes. My sister started panicking. She kept saying, "You don't understand, I love him. He takes care of me. He's the only one who listens to me." Every word she said made it worse. Not because she was lying, but because she believed it completely. When the officer arrived, he was calm. He sat at our kitchen table and spoke to my sister privately in the living room. My parents let her talk without interrupting. I sat in the hallway where I could hear bits and pieces. He asked her when the relationship started. She said last spring. He asked if anything physical happened before she turned 18 in February. She went quiet for a long time. Then she said yes. He asked if she ever felt pressured into doing things she wasn't comfortable with. Her voice cracked and she said sometimes. That one word changed the temperature of the entire house. The officer took notes. He told my parents they'd be opening an investigation. He gave them a card for a victim's advocate. My sister didn't argue anymore after that. She just sat on the couch holding a pillow staring at nothing. That backpack she'd packed 3 days ago sat untouched by the front door the entire night. Nobody mentioned it. Around midnight, my dad quietly picked it up and carried it back to her room. My mom made her a cup of tea and sat next to her on the couch until she fell asleep. They didn't yell. They didn't kick her out. They didn't say "I told you so." They just held it together long enough to protect her. I always thought if something like this happened, my parents would lose it. But they didn't lose anything that night except the man who spent months convincing an 18-year-old that nobody else would ever care about her the way he did. The investigation is still ongoing. My sister started seeing a therapist last week. She doesn't talk about him anymore. But sometimes I hear her crying through the bathroom wall, and I just sit on my side of the door and wait until she stops. She doesn't know I'm there, but I'm not going anywhere.